Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Kilted
Good
balls.
balls. Woo.
So do you know what I was channeling there?
I was not now. What were you channeling?
I was channeling tribute.
Oh, nice.
I heard tribute on the way home and I was like, I want to think about that
I
when I'm
did
doing my
not
intro today.
did not pick that up. That
Well,
was
it wasn't, precisely. I don't get in issues with Tenacious D,
true. That's
right?
true.
Right. But it was pretty good. So, welcome back, people, to the Kilted Balls podcast. We're so glad to have you here.
Yes.
Woo!
Yes. Welcome back.
It's been exciting for us. I went down and I visited Kilted this weekend.
It was a great time.
It was a great time. It was a work trip. So if you've been following along, we were moving the miners down to Kilted's in North Carolina. So the cost of electricity in Michigan is excessive. So we had to move them. So to give you an idea of the price differences, because this is kind of about our entrepreneurial journey. To run the miners in North Carolina, it's about $350 to run two of them. And here in Michigan, it was about $750 to run two of them.
Yes. So it was a well-needed trip, and glad that we were able to do it. And I mean, it's crazy that it's that big of a difference.
It's crazy. And I was thinking about it more, not just that, but like everybody knows gas prices are kind of high right now. And like I filled up down there for what, like $4.60? And I think it's $5.30 up here.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, I've been told that's just the taxes. So that's the taxes in your state.
And you would think, you would just think with taxes like that, we would be able to fix our roads. But I tell you what, coming into Michigan today, I thought I was going to lose a tire.
You can tell when you cross the line, like really, you can tell.
When you cross the state line, it is insane. And I'm like, holy cow, and I might know people in that department. So I don't understand how our roads are so bad.
Are they getting paid too much? I guess that's the real question.
Yeah. Well, and or do other places like North Carolina have a different tax structure to fund that stuff? So in Michigan, the roads are, I think, completely funded from our gas tax, or a huge portion of it, which maybe that doesn't cover it.
Yeah, that's true. That could very well be the case.
Right. So yeah, anyway, so there's a lot of things cheaper out there. And so, yeah, we decided to move them down there, and I decided to take a trip. And the cool thing is because of prep work that Kilted had done and prep work I had done, we actually had all the miners running within an hour of getting to the warehouse. We had everything up and everything going.
It was super fast, and that was really nice because then we had time to do some other fun stuff and hang out and not be in an extra warm.
No, it became a way more social trip after that.
Yeah, but the work is the important part, and that's part of. And when you first started saying entrepreneurial journey, there was something that I was like, oh, let's touch that as well. And I can't remember what it was. It was something that I felt would be important to tie in to all of this, but it's long gone.
Long gone. Was it about like removing sweet and sour or adding more sheets?
No, because there were some other things that I was thinking to bring up later, and it didn't have to do with that. But if it comes back, I'll bring it. Oh, that's it. So the electricity that we're spending on these miners, because I was going to tie it back to, sometimes what I consider FUD for crypto as far as the energy usage. And we've talked about it. And if you've listened to older episodes, you've heard things like this before. But and I wish I could remember exactly what it was now, but I remember thinking with just my two miners at the warehouse that it was real close to the same amount that the old owner had. And it was like he had industrial fridge, and very small distribution company.
Yes, exactly. Like your warehouse bill didn't go up that crazy much, adding two miners. And so miners get a really bad rap because people can isolate those and say, oh, look, you're running a miner, it's running the same as two houses.
Yeah.
They don't forget that you running an industrial refrigerator also is the same as two houses.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
Or like think about your warehouse. That guy was cooling that warehouse. Imagine the air conditioning draw for that. Right? Like
especially right now, it's 100 degrees outside.
Right. It would be insane.
On most of it.
And nobody thinks about that. Nobody looks at a restaurant and says, oh my gosh, look at their carbon footprint. I mean, I take it back. People do say that. And people say, oh, I want to reduce my carbon footprint. But nobody looks at them and says, well, you shouldn't eat there because their carbon footprint's so bad. Nobody even looks into it.
Yes.
But with the miners, people do, which honestly, rightfully so. With anything, you should be doing that, including your own house.
Yes, exactly.
But you should be doing it with everything, not just miners. Right. And along with that, talking about your entrepreneurial journey, I was talking to Amy today and was like, oh yeah. And like his bill before was like half of what it is now, which I didn't realize that. I was just thinking you didn't have anything running there and almost the miners were the whole thing. And so I'm like, she's like, what would he be using that power for? And I'm like, oh, well, he keeps it lit. And she said, she goes, has he retrofitted them? And I'm like, not with that bill. She's like, he needs to do that. So you need to retrofit your outside to LEDs. To give you an idea, you know what Brookfield is. Other people don't, but you know Brookfield. Yep. That entire parking lot, I think now costs $100 a month.
Oh,
because they retrofitted all the parking lights with LEDs.
Is that you can get the LED bulb?
For them, they had a company do it. Right. So they had a company come in and do it.
Good idea.
But
that's what I tried to do inside.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. I remember
inside
talking about that.
And remember we were talking and I wasn't sure like if I bought the wrong lights. So I bought other lights and they weren't working. But yeah, I was debating on going through and just switching everything on the inside to the LEDs anyways, you know, especially because I have so many burnt out and everything.
Yes. Like as you switch out fluorescents, switching to LEDs. Yeah.
Yes.
No, I think that's smart. But yeah, those parking lights could save you a ton of coin. So yeah, so not a lot of NFT chatter right now, but you know, our big stuff was moving the miners and doing that. We kind of rewired a little bit of the warehouse as well. So we went back another day and cleaned them up and did extra things. But that really only took us an hour to get stuff done because of the prep work, which kind of shows the importance. And we've talked about this before, is planning things out and having a plan, because that makes things easier, makes things faster, makes things easier. Right.
Yeah, we do have some NFT. I mean, well, there is a what is it? The elephant in the room. Everything is down.
Everything is down.
Making money. If you're making money in crypto right now, congratulations. Actually, I think I have a friend that he might be close because he got in super late. And I told him the other day, I'm so happy for him because he had some things going on similar to my situation and just wasn't able to buy in when I was buying in. And he was able to move some things around and he's really just now getting into it. So I'm super happy for him.
It's like a perfect time. Well, and
not the exact bottom, it's very close.
We listened to Crypto Lifer, and Crypto Lifer was saying again today, I don't know if you caught his episode, that you know we're pretty much at the bottom. So he showed where he's called every bottom. So now I'm worried that the recession might play with that. But even if it does, we're pretty doggone close to the bottom. And that's good. And as Lifers said, lifers make money during the bear market as well as the bull market. I haven't. I've been staying away from everything.
Okay. Yeah,
right.
That's smart. I mean, you can still short the market. I did not make money. I was making money and then I made a mistake and didn't follow my rules. And I keep on having to learn the same lessons. So eventually I will learn those lessons
Yeah,
and
like
move on.
today,
But we did
we're
get
talking about
some
making it.
NFTs.
Yeah, Light for today was
Okay.
talking about how you have to do your stop losses. Like I forget, somebody had said something and he's like, oh, because he was wrong. He was saying he was wrong and how upset he was. And it wasn't recently. It was like a while back that he was wrong once. And he's like, man, I was like up all night. And he's like, but people were like, well, you have your stop losses. And he was like, well, yeah. He goes, I didn't actually lose that much. I was just mad I was wrong. But I was like, of course I stop loss. It's like, why would you ever do anything so dumb as to not have a stop loss? I'm like,
But I was getting on a plane. Everything looked like it was going up. So I took out along and I climbed on a plane.
Well, and what he was saying today was, if you start learning now, like if you start going hard into crypto now, you will be really well positioned for the halving. He goes, it's going to take you about 2 years to really learn it. And so I'm like, okay, we're just hitting a year now of playing with crypto. So we haven't learned what we need to learn yet. So we're still learning a lot, still lots of rough lessons. But again, we're prepping ourselves for when it halves.
Yes.
So that's a good thing. I haven't bought NFTs for a while, but I did buy one. Did we talk about the pizza bots last episode?
I don't think so. I think that was when I was getting the same day I was getting on the plane. So that would have been.
Yeah. So I've been really holding off buying anything NFT or crypto. Been waiting until I was good and set to do stuff and confident we were near the bottom. But Pizza Bot came across my desk and I tweeted about this. It's the Seth Green NFT series. And I liked the concept, liked the idea. And so as we talked about, for me, this was more like a Kickstarter campaign or a GoFundMe campaign, which we talked, like, I don't doing that generic, but I do like doing it when I believe in what's going on. And so I got one, and it actually, I think, is up from where I minted. Not that I care. I don't think it's even revealed yet. But it's
no, it's not revealed. I was just looking at mine.
0.064 right now.
Awesome. Yeah, I even bought mine at 0.055. And that same day I did buy 2 more Yetis. I don't know. It's a project that I've always liked, but maybe I'm just seeing a lot of it on my Twitter right now because that's what people are posting about. So I picked up 2 more. So happy about that. And then I also listened to the if you've heard Proof, the Kevin Rose show. He has different people on there and stuff. And the people that were on there were talking about nouns and lil nouns. So I ended up getting a lil noun as well that same day. And I bought more Ethereum. So I'm super excited.
You did get more Ethereum? I'm thinking about getting some more Ethereum too. I think, like I said, I think we're near the bottom. And so I think it's important to do that. Speaking of that, I have 2 other questions or things, both to do with miners. I think one lesson we learned with the miners, if anybody's getting into it, is no matter how you do it, if you're doing it like a normal human being, a civilian, if you will, you're going to overpay so much for your miner. Stupid amounts. I think we overpaid stupid amounts. I have 2 reasons why I think this. So we bought good prices, we felt, on Amazon. We didn't have a lot of hoops to jump through, just a little bit, but we got them. We were happy. It is what it is. Since then, that company has reached out to us. So we have a relationship. And I don't know, what is it, like maybe a third less, maybe 40% less. And we're part of an NFT mining group. And we talked to them and they said they get them even cheaper. right? So it really kind of depends who you know and who you're working with is kind of a thing.
Yeah.
So
because even for the research that I had done, seeing the prices on Amazon compared to what the companies were quoting from China, and then you take care of the duties and all that stuff, I'm like, well, it's a little bit more, but it's not going to be for free, and there's going to be duties and stuff. But apparently there's other ways, and maybe, there could, obviously there could have been some other ways. We weren't able to find those.
We were just too new. Right. And I'm still super happy with our purchases and everything else. The numbers still work out. They're going to work out even better now that we're going to cut our electricity in half. Like, things are good. But it means we could have saved even more. So, that would have been good too.
Yes.
The second question is now that you have all the miners, I'll have to be sending money to you for electricity. And so the question is, unlike normal humans right now, you can pick your currency. So you're going to need to think how you want your payments to be. So I'll do rough calculations of what it'll be, and then I will send that to you each month. So something to think about.
Will go. I don't really need to think about anything. I'll just say whatever's easiest for you, honestly. If it's easier for you to write a check and send me a check, I can deposit a check. If you want to just send me whatever you feel like sending, I'll just tell you what address it is. That's super easy.
So I got to say, for the record, I still get checks from people. I'm still forced to write checks for people. I think that is incredibly antiquated and weird. So I'm probably not.
I deposited a check today.
It's like just a weird thing.
You could put your check right on your video screen, and I could take a picture of it, so you don't actually have to send it to me. You just have to fill it out.
Or I could just do the transfer button in my account to send it to you. Or I could PayPal, or I could Venmo. Like, if I'm going to use USD, why would I write a check to do it? Like, that just, like, even when we were at a friend's house on Monday, I didn't say, hey, do you want some cash for this? I said, do you want me to Venmo you?
Yes.
Right? Like, I'm not.
Although, when I had to pay you at first, you told me to send you a check. Oh, no, because I was paying your electric company, so I had to send the check.
You were paying the electric company. Because you were like, I want to just send it to the company. And I said, okay, just send it to the company. So,
because that would save the time rather than sending it to you, and you have extra work to do.
Which I can do that as well. What I might do,
whatever the least amount of work for me is. Oh, go ahead.
What I'm wondering about doing, I'll have to look at it tomorrow or next day, but changing our reward structure. So I just add in the electricity to your mining reward so that it'll automatically deduct it from there. Actually, that may be too complicated for it, but I'll think about it. I'll think about it for sure.
You'd have to check the price of Bitcoin at the time.
It's really about, I'd have to check the price of Bitcoin, and I'd have to take care of it in accounting. And I don't want to, I like how my books are right now.
Yeah.
Probably wouldn't do it that way. Still interesting thought. So
very interesting thought.
And so, crypto right now down. NFTs are, some are down, some are holding steady. But I'm going to say, not financial advice, that if I were talking to somebody, this would be the time to get in, right? If you had a couple grand sitting around and you could pick up a couple Ethereum, I'll go out on a limb right now and say, in 5 years, I made this prediction before and said 2 months. Now I'm going to say in 5 years that Ethereum will be worth 10,000. So if you got 2 of them for the price they are right now, you'd spend a couple thousand and you'd have $20,000 in 5 years, which is a great investment for like your kid's college education or something like that. So,
I still think that I would tell a friend, I would tell family, I would tell enemies, like, It's a smart time.
It's a smart time. It was not a smart time when it was 60 or 70. And I think you and I both knew that. We knew that was not a good time. But right now, it's a good time. Bitcoin right now is around 22,000. Its low was 18. It might, if things go wonky, it might go to 15. I don't think it'll go any lower than that. And
I agree with that.
I think its high is going to be 40 to 60. So I think, it's going to go up. It's going to go up. So
I agree.
whether it's going to go there in 6 months or not, I can't say that. Sideways action. The recession is going to put a lot of sideways action on everything. So the stock markets are going to go sideways. Crypto's going sideways. So sideways means it's not really up or down, people. Sorry.
Yeah, I think that's going to be, a lot of people are going to be scared from that. It's just going to be one of those things.
I would agree. I think people are going to be terrified. So yeah, that's our advice to you, friends. But things are going good on this front. We're enjoying what we're doing, and I think we're doing right things. Be ready for a lot of interesting chatter from us in the next week. I think we're going to start making some moves. I think it's the time to make moves, and I think we will be. So, we may even be doing some live feeds of some of our trickeries. So we'll let you know.
Yeah, it's going to be, it's very exciting what's coming up. And I think I'll save it for another episode, but I have some interesting things in our entrepreneurial journey and just helping people, anyone who's doing that and just questions they may have and stuff. So I think I can have some interesting things to add. I don't want to go too long tonight, but.
No, I think that's wonderful. And I think, I have a lot more free time now, so I bet we'll record a lot more. So that's my goal.
Awesome.
That's my goal. So be looking for episodes sooner, people. Anyway, this is Ballbuster signing off. Thank you for joining us tonight.
Kilted Dragon Chair. Love you all.